Welcome everybody to the STC Coaches Corner, where we interview different high school coaches from around the state. And we're glad to have Lisa Martinez here today with us from the Hinsdale Soth Hornets. Lisa, how you doing?
Good.
Now, Lisa, you guys had a memorable season. You have Jessica Brezwyn, who is in our SportsTownChicago.com All-Star game. In the third year, you've had an All-Star in each of the 3 years. How has that been for you
Terrific.
as a coach?
Terrific.
Now, what has been your most memorable moment about this season for the Hornets?
I think this particular season for me was, I've had 3 of those girls since they were freshmen and 3 more of them since they were sophomores. And so that core of the team had spent a combined 72 seasons with me, which is a long, long time. And so it was a very family-like atmosphere. The leadership came from all the seniors, and so it was a nice mixture, a nice combination of young and old.
Now, what's been the weirdest or most funniest moment in your season?
Weirdest or funniest moment? I'd have to say the weirdest moment was probably, unfortunately, the way it ended, because we had expected so much more, and kind of going into that last match for us, it was disappointing, and it was just it was a tough way to end. But it kind of put a cap on spending so much time with these kids and the relationships we've built, and it's nice walking away from the season now, because when I see those kids in the hallway and when I interact with those kids in the hallway, they're still a part of my family. It just goes to show that it's not just all about the season, it's about the relationships that you build from the day one that those kids walk in your gym.
Now, how important do you stress volleyball and academics, both?
Obviously, being a teacher as well as a volleyball coach, we have to try and balance both. And I know during the season things are a bit rough for them, but there have been times in the past where early on where we would do study groups. Now, this year we didn't have to do it because my kids were awesomely academically motivated, but in years past we've done study groups and things of that nature to balance it. And I think the kids do a real nice job too of, when they have the pasta parties, they allow themselves enough time still to go home, get their academics complete, and balance things out. So.
Now, how long have you been coaching for the Hinsdale Soth Hornets?
I think I just figured it out, and I think it's 8 years.
Wow.
8 or 9.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, how many have you been to state in any of those 8 years?
My second year there, it's when they still took 8 teams downstate.
Okay.
And so we made it to the Elite 8. We beat Mother McCauley. We upset Mother McCauley, which was pretty awesome, to go downstate that year. So.
Now, what do you stress most about volleyball itself in the game to your teammates?
I think the biggest thing for my group of girls is it's not about one individual superstar. It's about building around. Maybe you do have that one, superstar, such as Jessica this year was probably our strongest piece, but it's building a foundation around that one strong piece that you have. And so, if something were to happen, you still have a base to build around. And I'm big on the whole trust, family, building relationships. If you care about each other off the court, you're going to care about each other more on the court. It's kind of like going into battle. You're going into war with your teammates, and so if you trust the person that's standing next to you, behind you, it's going to just build for a stronger team and a stronger core.
Now, what makes Hinsdale Soth so special to you as a person?
I believe it's because that's where I had my first coaching experience in regards to being a varsity coach. I was a varsity boys coach there my first year. At the ripe age of 22, and then I moved over to the girls' side, and I think that's why I've grown attached to it, is because it is where I started my career. I had an athletic director for the first 8 years that I was there. That was like a father to me, a father figure to me, very supportive of the program, did a terrific job, and so he helped me kind of connect my roots. I mean, I graduated from Downers Grove South, so it's always a little bit unusual to bleed black and gold. Growing up, I was a Mustang, but I truly believe that that's where my roots are.
Now, where did you take your talents after Downers Grove South?
I continued on at the College of DuPage for 2 years. Won a national championship there with a great group of girls. My second year there, we came in fifth at nationals, unfortunately, but it was still a great experience. And then after that, I went down to Illinois State and decided to focus more on my academics, and thought about it a lot. And then I actually started coaching when I was down there. I got a good experience down there with the folks down in Bloomington, and so that's kind of where it all started.
Now, do you feel you've had an impact on any of your players?
I think one of the most redeeming parts about being a coach is hoping that you make that lasting impression on them. I hope that when my kids walk away from my program that, they continue to keep in contact with me.
Okay.
They continue to update me on their college careers and what's going on in their lives. And not just volleyball, but life in general, where they're headed, what they're doing, and so on and so forth. Coaching as long as I have, being young though, it's been really nice to see my kids grow up and then, meet back up with them and see them on a different level, see them on the professional level and things of that nature. And every once in a while I get blessed, to get that awesome letter in the mail or that awesome email telling you what a difference you've made in somebody's life. And maybe it's that kid that you never knew that you actually made a difference in their life. And so, coaching is probably one of the most rewarding things that I do in my life. So
now, what made you want to coach after you kind of retired from the game of volleyball?
I had a pretty strong coach in high school that I had a lot of respect for. She was well known, Denise Lazzaroni Cavanaugh. And she kind of motivated me because, she was never your top volleyball player. She's a short little midget, and, but she was a fiery, strong, influence in my life and kind of made me look at things in a different perspective, that maybe it's not always, being the best volleyball player isn't the most important thing, but, being able to be, or there for that best volleyball player or that person that's going to develop into, an all-star or things of that nature, and helping them plant roots and be realistic and be level-headed and learning all the good qualities of what it is to be a great teammate and a good human being, so to speak.
What do you guys go through in practice? Just tell us a brief little bit about what you do at practice and what you do stress and what makes your team so good.
Practices for us are pretty structured. We run through a standard warm-up. Usually we do some type of conditioning. Movement drills are always typical. And then we kind of have days. And I think the kids kind of catch on towards the end of the season, but towards the end of the week is more of our competition time.
Okay.
As we get closer, or maybe if we're, a day before we actually play. Early on in the season, we try and get as many double sessions in as we can, stressing a lot of passing and defense, because if you can't pass, you can't defend, you're never going to win matches. And then as time passes along, we focus more on our offensive system and our defensive system, but we really focus on the basics first and really cover the basics first of stressing what I'm looking for, the type of offense we're going to run, who's going where, trying to put the chess pieces in place, so to speak. And then once we've kind of gotten our feet wet with that, then we kind of, practices become a little bit more, a little bit faster run, a little bit faster pace, where it's kind of more of a run and gun type of a thing, where we're getting into the gym, we're warming up, we're going through our ball control circuit, doing a little bit of defense, and then getting right down into it, playing lots of repetitions. And so I had a wise mentor once told me that it's like the 10,000 hour rule. The more you can touch a ball, the better volleyball player you're going to be. And it's as simple as it sounds. I think a lot of people forget about that concept. If you can coach on the run, you're going to be a better coach. Instead of always stopping, taking the 10 to 15 minutes you might want to explain something, being able to think and coach on your feet is really, really important.
Thanks for giving us a little description on what goes on in practice, because not a lot of people know what really goes on beyond the games itself. So, all right, folks, we'll be back in just a moment with Jessica Brezwyn and her sister, the assistant coach of the Hinsdale South Hornets, Stephanie Brezwyn, in a little bit here on STC Coach's Corner.
everybody, welcome to the Coaches Corner on Sportstown Chicago. I'm Lori Spiewak, and I am here with Hinsdale South outside hitter Jess Brezwyn. Thank you for coming today, Jess.
No problem. Nice to be here.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I know you have a really busy schedule, so thank you for being here. We know that all 4 years you have been on the varsity volleyball team as well as the honor roll and the dean's list, right?
Yes.
So how would you make time in your busy schedule? How do you keep on track of all of that stuff?
Well, most of my years I've taken a study hall, so I would always finish my homework then and like study, and I guess I would just stay on top of my work, always like study for like tests on the weekends, like basically plan ahead, so I have like the ability to do that.
Very good. So we know that you are going to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, right?
Uh-huh.
And what are you looking forward to most about going there?
Well, I'm excited to definitely play there, but I love the weather, so I'm excited to get away from the Chicago weather.
Have you been there before? Did they come and scout you? Like, how did you know that you wanted to go there?
Well, I visited there my very first time, and then I've also taken an official, and then I've been to the camp. So I've been there like 3 times. I basically knew when I like felt at home when I was with the girls and the coaches, like I liked them a lot. So that basically like chose it, and it's like a really great school, so I liked it a lot.
What are you looking forward to studying there?
Probably kinesiology. I was thinking maybe like being a dietitian or something along those lines.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
then that also helps you to stay on top of your physical activity in volleyball, right?
Yeah.
Kind of keep your diet in place.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you start volleyball?
I started playing in the 3rd grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
You said you're 17 now, right?
Yeah.
And so what made you decide to stay with it? Did you ever try any other sports? What is it exactly that you love about volleyball?
Well, I used to play softball and volleyball, and then I ended up quitting softball because like I wanted to focus more on volleyball. I think I just like stayed with it because like I just really love to play it. Yeah, that's about it.
And have you ever played any other positions besides outside hitter?
No, that's all I played.
And I read somewhere that it says that it's pretty much amazing that you're 5'9" and an outside hitter.
Yeah.
Why is that so? Are they generally taller?
Yeah, a lot of like Big Ten schools have like at least 6 foot outside hitters, so like I'm pretty short, so.
I want to talk about your Hinsdale South Hornets team. So do you guys have any rituals like as a team or team bonding things that you guys do prior to games in order to get yourselves ready and prepared?
Yeah, like when we were on the bus, we had like dance parties.
And what kind of music do you guys listen to with those?
Well, we had our favorite song. It was like this Spanish song. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's Danza Cadora.
Can you sing a little bit of it?
No. But we would have like a dance party on the bus, and that would always get us like really pumped up. Yeah, that's about it. Like just before games, we would just like get really excited and like talk about like what the game meant to us. So.
Right. And is there anything that you do to prepare yourself mentally or physically, just you on your own?
I guess I just like think about like the game ahead and like focus, because like sometimes if you're not focused, like you don't play as well. So.
And what is one of the funniest things, or maybe one of the weirdest things, something that just really stands out in a memory that you'll take with you to North Carolina about your Hinsdale South team?
Well, we all like got along really well. Like it was like one of the like teams that I've been on that's like gotten along so well. Like we all always had fun with each other. Something funny that happened.
Yeah, we want the dirt.
I like fell during one of the games. I like completely tripped, if that counts.
It counts.
Okay.
Did you hurt yourself, or were you okay?
I just tripped.
It was just embarrassing.
Yeah.
How many days a week or hours a day do you guys spend practicing?
For club or for high school?
For high school and for club as well.
For high school, we practiced every day after school from like 3 to like 6:15ish. And we also practice normally on Saturdays if we didn't have a tournament. And for club, we practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we lift on Mondays. And if we don't have a tournament, we'll most likely have practice on the weekend, like normally on Sunday. So.
Cool. So it pretty much, between club and high school, it's a full-time commitment.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then can you tell me some of the differences either between the practices or the rules? What are the differences between club and high school volleyball?
Well, I mean, they're both like kind of the same. Like we follow basically a lot of the same practice drills. High school, like you don't get as much time to practice as club does because there's like specific rules, I'm pretty sure, like the number of hours you can spend in the gym. So like that's one difference. But we do mostly like the same drills. I mean, that's about it. I mean, yeah.
Do you have any idols or role models, either, you know, in your life or perhaps someone you aspire to be like that you haven't met? A professional athlete or something?
There's this one guy who plays for the men's national team. His name is Sean Rooney. I met him like at his past game, like this past year. I just like, I've always liked him. He's a really, really great athlete and volleyball player. And he's like a great outside hitter, so I've always liked him.
Cool, very cool. And how is it, I'll say, practicing with or working with your sister?
It's different because like I've never really had that before, but it's like really helpful too because she's like my coach on the court, but like I could come home and like talk to her and be like, oh, what am I doing? Like, what should I do about this? Like, can you help me out with this? Like, so it's like really helpful. I like it.
So it helps to be on a more personal level
yeah,
as well.
And like she understands what I'm going through. Like sometimes I can't talk to my parents about like volleyball things, so like I can always go to her for it. So it's nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And do you have any goals or anything that you'd like to do outside of volleyball? I mean, we know that we talked about your kinesiology, but I mean, is there anything else, you know, hobbies-wise? Like, what are you looking forward to in the future?
I mean, I guess like going to North Carolina, I'm looking forward to like making like new friends, like growing up more. So
don't do it.
McDowell now is going back. Serve over left hand, strong serve. Good dig down low by Restillo. Tip over right hand by Carlini, all-world player here today. Right hand kill attempt is going to be by Brezwyn. Good dig far back row. Carlini near side for Salas over the double block, still alive. Set McDowell near side. Tip over right hand is going to be by Davis.
How was it attending the All-Star game?
It was a really good experience. I had a lot of fun, so I was really happy I did it.
Did you know anybody going into there, any other players? Or?
Yeah, my setter for the club this year, Megan McDowell, she was on my team, so like I knew her, and then I knew a couple of other girls from club, and I knew like some other people who played First Alliance because I used to play at that club, so I knew some of them. So yeah, I knew a lot of people.
Really cool. And how were you feeling going into that? Were you nervous, excited?
I think I was a little bit of both because I mean it was like a big game, like pretty hyped up, so I was nervous, but I was excited to see like what it was all gonna like happen. But yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and coming up next you will have Jason Zenner interviewing assistant coach of the Hinsdale South Hornets, Stephanie Brezwyn.
Welcome back, everybody, to the STC Coaches Corner. We already talked to Lisa Martinez, the head coach of the Hinsdale South Hornets, and we just talked to our SportsTownChicago.com All-Star, Jessica Brezwyn. Now I have the pleasure and honor of interviewing Stephanie Brezwyn, the sister of Jessica. Stephanie, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good myself. Now, you coach your little sister, your assistant coach. You just got promoted. You coached the freshman B team last season, right?
Yes.
So that's a great promotion. Congratulations.
It was an awesome promotion. Thank you.
Now, what is it like coaching your little sister? How does it feel?
Sometimes it was interesting because sometimes you have to like stop, establish a line where in practices she's not my sister. She's just another player. When we get home, yeah, she's my sister. We hang out, we have fun, but I couldn't be afraid to like yell at her in practice. Sometimes I felt I would yell at her too much because she was my sister, but
yeah,
you know, you got to be able to walk in that gym and she's just another player. She's not anyone special to me.
Now, do you guys get along for the most part, especially like when you were little kids, or do you guys used to fight a lot?
Oh, when we were little kids, we didn't get along at all. But then we started to get along, and we get along really good now. We go shopping and we have fun together.
Now, what are your goals, coaching-wise, that you want to succeed at? Like, what do you see yourself in the future? What do you want to do?
I'm comfortable where I am. I love coaching at Hinsdale South. I like coaching with Lisa. If I could be varsity assistant next year again, I would be very happy with that. Comfortable where I am.
Now, we talked to Lisa Martinez just a little bit ago. What do you bring to the table that's special to the Hinsdale South Hornets this season in particular?
I played under Lisa when I played at Hinsdale South. She was my coach, so I think the girls kind of liked it that I knew what it was like to be in their shoes. She was my coach before. I know what they're going through. I know, sometimes Hinsdale South is not an easy volleyball program to go up through. So I know that, and I think that's what they liked about it, was like I can relate to them and the fact that I've been through it. I survived, and I now am coaching, so that's nice. I think they like that.
Now, do you think coaching your little sister in the high school level, and now that she's going to college, and you've played college volleyball, how much does that help your little sister?
Oh, I'm sure it will help her. I can tell her, this is what I did, this is what worked for me, this is not what I liked. Hopefully she'll have her own experiences and come back and we can talk good stories about, on the road traveling and different games and stuff. So, I'll help her out as much as I can and give her some insight as to what it was like to play in college and to even be in college, be a student and an athlete, because it's certainly an adjustment period. So give her all the information that she needs with that.
Now, what is your favorite part about coaching your little sister and the team itself?
I just like the fact that when you coach and when you're a part of a team, it's something special. Like, not too many people in their life can play at a high competitive level of sports and know what it's like to be a part of a team. Like, those people on your team have your back. Like, no matter what, they have your back. And that's, I like the feeling of coaching where your players, they have your back, you have their back no matter what. And it's something, special being on a team. And just the different memories you have, the different stories. You spend a lot of your life for those, 3 months in high school. You spend a lot of your life with those people. So it's really nice to grow with them and, get to have a lot of cool experiences with them.
Now, were you what kind of coach were you? You're an assistant coach, obviously, but did you stress more defense offensively in front of the net? Or what do you stress at practice? What was your main role?
At practice, especially now that I'm coaching 14s for club, it's all about defense. I stress defense, and as a program at Hinsdale South, we stress serve receive. We are, on point with serve receive. So I think I'm kind of following in Lisa's footsteps with really, stressing the importance of serve receive. I think when I was a player, I didn't quite get, the extent of how much you need to focus on serve receive, but now as a coach, it's funny that I really understand how important serve receive is for volleyball.
Yeah. Do you feel you still could be a better coach than you are right now?
Oh yeah. Coaching is the type of thing that there's always room for improvement. There's always something new that you can learn. There's different formations for how to set up your serve receive. There's different ways that you can set up your lineups and rotations. So definitely that's something that you can always get better at, always develop yourself. I know I'm going to a couple of clinics in the spring, and I'm very excited. One of them's at Sports Performance, a club that my sister plays at. They're hosting it, and so I'm very excited to go to that and learn a bunch of new drills and stuff like that, so it'll be fun.
Now, your personal experience, you went to St. Francis and played volleyball there. How do you like it there? How was the experience?
It was interesting. Definitely hard that I was a nursing major, hard to, keep schoolwork.
Right.
Volleyball in college is a lot the same for, that is for high school, just the fact that you practice like 3 hours a day, maybe Sundays your only day off, and that fact that it's a lot in a short time period. But it was interesting. It was a good experience. I learned a lot about myself as a person, just being able to manage different things, and then, as a player, going up and maybe doing some things, starting to do some different lineups and positions that you've never really done before. So it was interesting. Good experience overall.
Now, when did you start playing volleyball?
I started when I was in 5th grade playing.
Okay.
So she beat me a little bit on that. She started a little bit earlier than I did.
Well, usually the little sisters or little brothers are a little brother than their older ones. That tends to be the case.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel the team is going to be next year without your sister? Do you think you guys still will be great?
We'll be a successful team. We have a lot of good, strong foundation for next year. We have a couple girls who switched clubs this year, are stepping a little bit outside their comfort zone. So hopefully they'll learn a lot and come and be ready to play next year.
Thank you, Stephanie Brezwyn, for taking time with us here on the STC Coaches Corner, and Jessica Brezwyn, our SportsTownChicago.com All-Star. Also, Lisa Martinez, who is here on the beginning of the show, the head coach of the Hinsdale South Hornets. Until next time, here on the STC Coaches Corner, we will see you.